Guys, welcome back to A Slice of Life. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lais.
And today is a topic I am very excited about. I am a massive hockey fan, for those who don't know, and
he's very, very proud to the fact that he got a Brazilian to actually like hockey quite a lot.
More so than soccer, which is the topic of today. Soccer and hockey. We narrowed it down to 4 main differences that we wanted to talk about in today's video. I'm obviously wearing part of my heritage, an Italian soccer jersey, and she is wearing her team, the Vegas Golden Knights. So kind of like a fun little play where I'm talking about hockey, but I wear the soccer jersey, and she's going to talk about soccer, but she wears a hockey jersey. We're going to keep mixing it up and have some fun with you guys.
And then we're going to try the best because it wasn't that hard to make me like more than soccer because I never really liked soccer.
Which,
but the fact
being
that
from Brazil, I thought that was sacrilegious.
It is, but don't tell anybody. But it was a lot of fun for him because I actually really got into the sport, and he also plays hockey, so I watch him play too, so that's a lot of fun. So without further more information, let's go to the 4 biggest differences that we noticed between hockey and soccer.
So number 1 is kind of a little bit of what's behind us, the fans in the stands. So if you want to go ahead and talk about that.
So as somebody that's seen both sides, unfortunately, the soccer fans usually are very, very intense in a violent way. In a lot of places, you cannot go, for example, have the mixed teams that you are going to have one half of the stadium for one team and another half for the other. And in some stadiums, that doesn't even happen at all. It's just the home team because people can get violent and fights breaking and really, really, really sad because there are people that have to go through the point of law and get them into jail and forbid them to go to games. And it's just, for me, sports into any shape or form is something that should bring people together. So it always made me really sad to see that. But then when I went to watch hockey with him, and actually we go every year for his birthday, and I was the only Vegas Knights in the entire stadium. Lies, there were like 4 or 5 other ones. But I was surrounded by Tampa Bay Lightning fans, and at first I was very scared, but then I realized nobody cared. I gave them shit when I scored, and they gave me shit when they scored, and everything was fine. And that for me is amazing.
The fans, very passionate, and we can razz each other and have some fun, but, all in all, hockey is definitely a gentleman's sport, which is something I'll talk about more a little bit later into the video. But it's just as intense as hockey can be, the physicality and, the excitement, the goal horn, and that is one thing, that I want to touch on, cool. Is that when a goal is scored in hockey, especially if you're cheering for the home team, the goal horn goes off, and their song plays, and their chant plays, and certain players have their own song.
Comes out.
It's a lot of fun. When you're the away person, and your team scores, and you're in the wrong arena, it's dead quiet. All you can hear is the
which was me and the other 5 people across, like getting up, and everybody's like.
But it's a lot of fun, and the fans. Now, granted, there's no perfect arena. I've been to arenas where there's issues with the home team fans. I've had cheering for my team at the wrong arena, and you can get those bad fans that just ruin the experience. But that happens with anything. Apples. But all in all, it's not the same. Where in soccer they have to be separated. Where in hockey they're intertwined. You could be sitting with a Vegas fan at the Tampa Arena, which is my team, and then you can have somebody who's completely in the wrong place wearing an LA Kings jersey at a Lightning Vegas game. So you can just have everyone from everywhere joining. Yeah,
that feeling of safety to me is priceless, honestly.
So the second thing that we want to talk about is the paychecks, the paydays. So, being a hockey fan, I understand that, soccer reaches a more global audience in different climates and things like that. But the paycheck in hockey, for the amount of physicality that's in the sport, the players should be getting paid more. And that's just, again, my own personal bias that I compare to not just soccer, but like baseball, football, basketball. The amount of money these guys are making is just insane. And then I look at the sport they play and the things they do and, the things that hockey players do. And I'm just like, I don't understand that. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's the revenue generation.
Yes. We did some research.
Yes. The highest paid player in hockey made $15 million per season per year. That's it. That's what they made. Now in soccer,
So in soccer, the number one paid person made the ridiculous amount of $217 million in a year. So it's insane how much any of these people make. But yes, it's ridiculous how a sport where you pretty much become a bowling ball and a team that you get your face all badged up makes that much of a difference of your pay. But we're not the one making the rules, unfortunately.
And that note, the meme versus the bowling ball versus the meme where, good bro, that's the next topic that we're going to get into.
It's almost an international joke that soccer players, you do this, and they're on the ground crying, and there's so many videos out there, and it's just crazy to me how they will fake an injury. That's why when I went to watch my first real hockey game, and people are like bumping into each other and blood is coming out, and they're like, it's okay, and then they fist bump after. I'm like, what just happened? Like this one time when he was playing hockey, somebody accidentally hit him. He was coughing blood on the rink. He's like, no, I'm okay, I'll go back in there. I'm like, sit your ass down. He's like, no, I'm fine. So that was a very adaptation time for me.
I mean, it's the nature of the game, you know. Now I don't wear a visor anymore when I play because otherwise she won't come watch me play games anymore. But
fully covered.
And I wanted her to see me play, and of course I never want her to see me get hurt, but I know that's part of the game that I play.
Somebody.
And not only that, but she wanted me to stop playing that day after. I was like, no, just put some gauze in my mouth. I want to get back out there, coach. Put me in.
He was coughing blood, people. Coughing blood.
We're a little crazy, the hockey players, but yeah, it's even more of a sting for her. Well, I guess not so much, but Neymar, who's one of the best soccer stars today, is Brazilian, and he is the ultimate meme of the bowling ball. But that being said, hockey is just an absolute physical sport. You know, there's constant body checks. It sounds worse than it is. The worst is when it's an open ice check. Open ice is when you're not against the boards. You know, some of these hits are like a car crash, the amount of force. Whereas you get hit up against the boards, they give a little bit. So it sounds awful.
They shake a lot. It's very interesting when you watch the game. It sounds horrifying, but you see how much the board moves it. So it's absorbing a lot of that impact. When it's ice, it's you, ice hurts. That's it.
But on top of that, besides the physicality of the checks, there's fighting, which is allowed. You just get a 5-minute penalty.
That is insane. It was so funny to me because I saw they starting a fight, and I'm like, oh, the referee's gonna cut it out. And the referee's in the corner like, is he not gonna do anything? He's like, no, he's gonna let them fight a little bit. I'm like, what do you mean he's gonna fight a little bit? Just let them. Yeah, they let them fight a little bit, and then they go to the box of shame. That's how I call the penalty box. They put them into the box of shame, and then they come out like, that's it. I'm like, they just had a fight.
And that's something that I want to talk about. It, you know, even though it's a physical sport, it is a gentleman's game. You know, it's high tempo, it's fast paced. So somebody's coming at you at full speed. They're just trying to get to the goal, and you know, you're just trying to get around them. So contact's gonna happen one way or the other, intentional or not intentional. So tempers flare, and it's just a high intensity, fast paced game. But it's also a game of respect. You know, in the league that I play, obviously it's not a checking league. Most beer leagues are not. However, you know, whenever I have a battle with somebody in front of the net, I'm trying to stop their goalie from seeing anything. So I'm up against him and trying to get position, and he's trying to shove me back, and it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of crap talking. But afterwards, like, oh yeah, it's a good battle. Good job, man. Good job. So, and then we're sharing a beer after the game. So it's just a lot of fun. It is a gentleman's sport, and you know, the best way I can relate that is when she saw her first Stanley Cup playoffs, which is also how she became a Vegas Knights fan. She had never made a playoff bracket before, but I challenged her to do so. I gave her a little background information on the teams, how they were doing that year, the logos, this, that, and the other. She created one, and before the playoffs began, she became an instant Vegas Golden Knights fan, which was perfect for her. It was her first year really watching hockey, and she was like, would you be mad at me if I picked the Vegas team? I was like, as long as it ain't Boston, I'm good. So
it's just because I don't know why their first year was, as he said, my first year following it, not of course to his level ever, but still following it, enjoying the game. And I told him when I did the brackets in the beginning of it, I was like, I have a feeling they're going all the way. He's like, no, they're not. They're brand new. And I'm like, I have a feeling. And I started watching them, and that game, then we lost it.
Oh.
When you turned in like 5 minutes, everything changed. I was in the couch like, no! Ah! So, yeah, I started liking hockey a lot.
That was intense. It hurt to watch her team lose, but to see that reaction from her, I was like, she's a fan. But I think we spent too much on this topic. We'll move on to the next. And so that brings us to our fourth and
last but not
final
least.
point.
Yeah.
And actually, I really like how excited you get about this topic when it comes to hockey. But you know more from the soccer side, so I will definitely let you talk on the soccer side first.
I think for soccer, there are, the same way there is with hockey, a lot of smaller leagues, big competitions, but it's mostly about the World Cup. You're going to have the internal championships inside, and even in the Olympics, which honestly, I feel like it has a bigger and heavier importance for female soccer teams than male soccer teams per se. But the biggest competition in soccer is going to be the World Cup. And it's when everybody comes together. I remember I was in Brazil for the World Cup that we have it over there. And I could see everybody. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a complete street just of bars, and all the teams, people were with the jerseys of their countries, but it was respectful. They were chanting against each other and just having fun. And that's really cool because I feel like the World Cup, whoever is hosting it has more freedom, because he's gonna talk more about the Stanley Cup mostly, but I like the freedom that in championships as the World Cup, the country that is hosting creates their own mascot for that year competition. They make the trophy, everything is more personalized. It has a closer touch to that country that paid a lot of money to be able to host that. It is a lot of money to be hosting the Olympics, all these events. So I like that aspect, but I have the biggest respect for the Stanley Cup.
Well, before I get to the Stanley Cup, one more thing I wanted to say on that is when it comes to the World Cup, I'm a little bit torn. So I cheer for two teams. Obviously, the Italians, because that is my heritage, and that is kind of how I was raised. I am an American, and I love the U.S. and I also root for them during the World Cup. But a lot of
make really far.
Well, a lot of my love for, dang, a lot of my love for soccer is my Italian family, my Italian heritage. So I get more excited watching the Italian team. So I'm lucky enough, I guess, where I get to cheer for two teams during the World Cup. But, it's just so much fun to just watch. And I remember one year, just like you said that you remember yesterday, I was at a pub in Orlando, and one of my roommates was from Costa Rica. And I want to say it was one of the qualifiers to get into the World Cup. And Costa Rica beat the Italian team, and it was just devastating. But I was so happy for him because it's not a country that gets as much love in the World Cup.
Yeah,
and
there's some
it was
small
just
teams
so
that
much fun.
Like South Korea. There are some teams like France, England, Italy, Brazil. Those are big. Argentina. These are big name teams that everybody's watching very close. Germany, but smaller teams like Costa Rica, it's a good team. It made it into the World Cup, but nobody has 5 wins like us. So
close. We have four. So the Stanley Cup. So the Stanley Cup, and again, I'm biased. It is my favorite sport, but I mean, she can attest to this. You hear about the trophies. Every year, in other sports, the trophy changes. It's a brand new trophy that's created. It's from a new medal. It's not the same trophy that's passed down from team to team. Whereas the Stanley Cup it's the same trophy every year, and everyone who's ever won it, their name is engraved on the cup. So it's an amazing trophy. I have yet to have the experience of being up close to it. I can't wait to get that experience. Hopefully it either comes to Tampa and I'm able to go, or we go to Toronto to the Hockey Hall of Fame to see it. One other thing, history about the Stanley Cup, they remove, when the bands get too close to the bottom, they'll remove a band. I don't remember how many years, but they say it somewhere in there. They remove the band and it goes into the Hockey Hall of Fame. So there's the one that's always in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and there's the one that's every year awarded to the winning team for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The original bowl it has such a cool story from Lord Stanley, who created the cup. The original history on it was a challenge cup. So anybody could challenge for the cup. The story that I remember hearing about was this no-name team that didn't deserve to be there. They got destroyed, which I think was the last year they ever made it as a challenge cup, and they made it as a league cup. But their name, even though they got destroyed, is forever engraved on that cup when it was the year of the challenge cup. So it became this little bowl to like a small, like thin cigar-like thing to now this,
massive
more
thing.
bulky cup. So But I mean, it's an amazing trophy. The championship, it's grueling. Every round of the playoffs is the best of 7 series.
That is also the difference, because in soccer is a point system. Like if you win, you get 2 points. If you lose, it's this, and then they add up points to see your where you stand. But and one game is one game. But you guys with best out of 7, it's crazy when it goes to the 7th game and the team won 3, the other won 3, and everybody's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Because it gets really intense.
She enjoyed her Stanley Cup playoffs thus far, I'll tell you that one. So, but I mean, it's just an awesome sport. I mean, I've got nothing but love for soccer and hockey, respectfully, but I mean, I am biased, hockey being my favorite sport, so this was a fun video for me to make, and it was a little bit of fun to challenge each other on what we could bring to the table for this video. So it's a lot of fun. Do you have anything else to add, or I
think one of the hardest part was to control you not to get too technical, because trust me, if you let him, the amount of hard drive in this head about hockey, it's insane. It's pretty. I can't touch the hair. Pretty. I think that's all for today.
Yeah, I think we covered enough, but you know, hey, there's a lot more we could have talked about, but I feel like
let us know in the comment below if there's a topic you guys think that a Brazilian and an Italian American could debate about it, because even if we don't know, we can definitely research and create opinions, and
it'll be fun for us. But like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updated videos. Thank you all for taking a slice of life with us. I'm Matt.
I'm Laís.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.